Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, welcome to this video. I'm so happy you found it. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new here, may you find something useful for the year. 2027 looks to be not as intense as 2026 for all of us. So I'm very grateful to bring that news. It looks like we are settling into a new era. We're finding our feet with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, which is bringing in the AI generation, this huge leap in technology, which we are all experiencing, whether we are willing or not. And 2027 has no major planetary ingresses. What does that mean? It means that planets of slow-moving quality that bring a big change to the world vibration are not changing signs this year. Uranus is firmly in Gemini. Pluto is firmly in Aquarius. Saturn and Neptune are firmly in Aries. And all those planets will remain stable in those signs for 2027. So it looks like we are settling into getting used to this new vibration. The major event, therefore, for 2027 will simply be the slow retrograde motion of Mars. Mars will be traveling through 2 signs of the zodiac for a long period, which is unusual. It usually moves briskly through 1 sign approximately every month. And what's going to happen is on September 29 of 2026, Mars moves into Leo, and it will travel through Leo and Virgo all the way until July 15 of 2027. So think about that. Instead of Mars going through 1 sign per month, through that entire period from October until mid-July, it's going to be in 2 areas of your chart. So Gemini, what areas are those for you? They are your 3rd solar house, which is Leo, your house of communication, of getting around, of siblings, and Virgo, your 4th solar house of endings and beginnings, of the home, of the parents, of your roots, and so on. So only you will know how that is going to apply to your particular life, because we are all going to experience that archetypal energy in a slightly different way. The other thing of note for Gemini will be that Uranus is going to be traveling between 1 and 9 degrees during 2027. And this is through your sign, of course. So this will affect those of you who are born May 23rd approximately to May 30th. You will receive the transit from Uranus to your sun this year. It's quite a galvanizing transit. It invites you to be more independent, more authentic, and it also offers a more spiritual way of living. Uranus is known as the awakener, and when it touches our sun, we are invited to wake up and to devote more of our life to a more mindful way of living. For those of you who are Gemini rising, check your chart now. Is your ascendant anywhere between 1 and 9 degrees of Gemini? If it is, you're going to receive Uranus coming into your ascendant during 2027, also offering you a shift in identity. And so often when Uranus comes into the ascendant, it offers us an opportunity to move, to relocate, whether for work, family, or pleasure. It can bring a change to our accommodations, whether we are going far afield, such as overseas, or whether we're just going down the road to a new house, which is an upgrade. So I wish that for you too, Gemini rising, that Uranus coming into your ascendant is a positive, uplifting experience where the change can be embraced. And Gemini, your archetype is all about change. You are the messenger. You are someone who is known to be able to flow from here to there and not to hold on. You're a mutable sign. So Uranus in your sign, it suits your nature. Other things this year will be Saturn and Neptune will still continue in your 11th solar house of hopes, dreams, friendships. So you might have noticed a shift in your community during 2026, especially the second half. How has that shifted either your friendship group or a community that you are part of, or communities? Something is changing there. Saturn asks for a restructuring of your community, and Neptune can also bring in a more spiritual vibration, or the lower vibration can be that something underhand or duplicitous might be going on that you need to ferret out and get to the bottom of. Pluto continues in your 9th solar house of foreign travel and higher learning. So if you are studying astrology or any other field, maybe you're doing a PhD or a second graduate degree or just setting off for college, higher learning is favored. Until 2044, you're going to have Pluto in that solar house. Also travel, expanding your mindset through travel, whether it's reading books about other countries or getting on a plane and going there. Gemini travels well. You're flexible. You know how to flow. So follow that spirit and let's see where it takes you in 2027. And Gemini, because you are ruled by Mercury, it is always important to let you know the retrograde periods that will take place this year. There are always 3. And last year it was interesting because they were all in water signs. Now this year we get a shift. We're shifting to water-air retrogrades. So because of that, and because communication is ruled by air, you may find these retrogrades affecting you a little bit more than last year. What does this mean? It means simply that these are good times to clear your calendar a little bit, do a little bit less, or focus on returning to things that you have left unfinished and using the 3 retrograde periods to catch up. You can get a lot done. It only becomes a challenge when you get frustrated because the pace of life is not moving as fast as you would like it and as fast as you are used to. So the first Mercury retrograde period, when Mercury is appearing to move backwards in the sky from Earth, so things slow down on a communication and travel level, is February, March, and that will be in both the sign of Pisces and Aquarius. So it could affect your workflow, Gemini. The second Mercury retrograde period will be in June, July, and that will be in Cancer and Gemini, your sign. So that's the one you need to take note of. Great time for a holiday, great time to kick back. And the third and final retrograde period will be in October for the whole month. And that will be both in Scorpio and Libra, water and air. So that's another good reason to either take it easy in October or to return to something that you know you need to take care of. Maybe you're returning to a place that you visited before and you are reconnecting with old friends and those who you love. The first week in January, Gemini, is a slow week for you, and I invite you to relax. You've got a couple of planets, the important ones, your ruling planet Mercury, for example, moving through Capricorn. This is a quiet place for you, and it doesn't look like there's an awful lot going on, which might be a good reason, a good excuse to take a holiday. Mercury moves in there on December 25th of 2026. So that entire period as the year gets underway, it's slow for you. It's looking restful. Then on the 10th of January, we need to note that Mars, our action planet, is going to station retrograde in your house of the home. So home, family might be in the spotlight, and it's an invitation for the next couple of months to really focus on home and family and to slow down a little bit, because when Mars is retrograde, we are all asked to look within, and it's also not a great time to initiate any forward-moving projects or big projects that you would like to see succeed quickly. Only on April 1st will Mars turn direct again. So the first 3 months of the year, in fact, are relatively slow. But things do spice up for you, Gemini, around the 14th of January when Mercury moves into Aquarius. And this is a beautiful place for you. It's your place of travel, and it's going to trine Uranus the next day, bringing a lot of enlightened energy. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you have some brilliant ideas at this time, but things start to pick up pace, and especially after the 20th when the sun moves into Aquarius and your quiet period is over. And we are then building towards the full moon, which is in Leo on the 22nd of the month. And Leo is a great place for you. It's a place of your brothers, your sisters, communication, getting around. It's a place where you feel very comfortable. So at that full moon, I hope that something special comes to fruition for you, and that you're starting to feel really positive and energized about the year. If you are someone who sets your intentions at the new moon every month, I need to let you know that there is a new moon in Capricorn on the 7th of January. This will be a quiet new moon for you, and it may be a good time for grounding. On the very last day of January, Mercury enters Pisces, and this is your solar house of work. So let's see what is getting creative in the work environment now, bearing in mind that Mercury will go retrograde in Pisces next month. So any projects that you are starting on or you have creative ideas about, you need to accept that they may need rework, and that this is not also a great time to launch anything new with Mars retrograde. February. Gemini, February is a busy month for you, and it gets going straight away on the 2nd, where your ruling planet is contacted by Uranus, which wakens things up and gets you going. We also have eclipse season beginning in February. So the first eclipse will be a new moon solar eclipse taking place in Aquarius, which is a house for you to do with studies and travel. So once again, apply it to your life, and just take note that things might be clearing out in that area of your life right now. Sometimes eclipses work to really bring things to the surface. So see what wants to be coming up now and allow it room to breathe. This is a good time for clearing out, and it's also a good time to connect with people on a more spiritual or deeper level than usual. You have Pluto traveling through that same house, so it might be bringing up deeper connections for you and deeper contacts with other places in this world. A couple of days after that eclipse, while you're regrouping, Uranus is going to move direct at 1 degree of Gemini. So outer planet movements do affect us in the sense that they can have an impact on our energy And especially because it's in your sign, that might be a good time to take a day of adjustment, especially because as Uranus is moving forward on the 8th, the following day on the 9th, Mercury is moving retrograde. And this will be in Pisces, in your house of work. And it will be in that house of work until the 18th, when it's going to slip back into Aquarius, the travel study area of your life. So what you need to know is that you might be redoing, reworking, revisiting something at that time. You don't have to worry about it. All you need to do is not rush about and try to cram too much into your life at this time. Better to take it easy and let the fact that your ruling planet is moving slowly be an indication that you could be moving slowly too, and it might be a good practice for you. And after that, you are building towards the lunar eclipse, which will take place at the full moon in Virgo around the 20th of the month. So that's your place of the home and family. You can see what's going on there and what is going to come into the light then. The day before an eclipse can sometimes feel a little bit intense, before a full moon as well. So I invite you to relax, take it easy, and at all times the planets are not telling us anything inherently positive or negative. They are always offering us energies with which to grow. When you have a full moon lunar eclipse in your area of the home, endings and beginnings, roots, often something needs to be cleared within the family, and you can see how that applies to your life. The day after that eclipse, Mars is going to retrograde back into Leo. So it will leave your house of the home, the action planet Mars, and go back into that area of travel, communication, and siblings. And that's the kind of travel that is closer to home than the house of Aquarius for you, which is to do with long distance travel. So with Mars retrograde in Leo, in your 3rd solar house, you might want to take extra time getting about and also planning meetings. Don't squash everything together. Try to leave room in between, because you might need to take a bit of a breather. You've got Mercury retrograde now and Mars retrograde. And both of those planets are really the drivers of our modern communication system. Mars is how we get around in our cars from A to B, in trains and so on. And Mercury is the internet and AI and our cell phones and all those things that we depend upon, software and so on, to keep our businesses running. So it's really a good time to maybe schedule updates for your software and to not initiate new plans. March looks like a great month for you, Gemini. It's almost as if you don't notice the Mars retrograde in Leo all month in your 3rd solar house, because you are so busy at work. Things are going well, you're planning, it's looking really, really active. If you're not working, you could find a job at this time, or you could be out and about, really being engaged in the world. So the month begins with Venus moving into Aquarius, which is a lovely place for you. Venus was in Capricorn all of February in a quiet place. So now you're stepping out, you're getting about, you're seeing people, things are feeling good. On the 3rd of March, Mercury, your planet, moves direct. In other words, it is ending its retrograde motion. And things start to clear for you, they start to move forward. And this is followed a few days later by the new moon. And that new moon in Pisces is helping your career, it's helping your work. A great time to set your intentions of what you would like to achieve work-wise this year. And the intentions that you set at this new moon will be re-energized from the 18th of March onwards, when Mercury re-enters your house of work. Re-enters Pisces, and many things will start to come to light now. Another noteworthy event for March is the 20th. So we've got the equinox, and this is a very important time for everyone. Take it as a reset. The sun is entering into Aries. It's your 11th solar house. Beautiful place for you, a place of friendship and dreams fulfilled. So how will you honor that solstice? Maybe a ritual, something about beginning again. Always helpful to do this with the solar principle as well as with the lunar principle. A couple of days after that eclipse, we have a full moon in Libra, which will be on the 22nd of the month. And it's a strong full moon. It's at 1 degree of Libra. Energies are going to be coming forward onto the world stage at that time because of the equinox and because of the full moon. I invite you to think at this full moon about what is coming to fullness in your house of lovers, your house of romance, your house of children. Is there something growing there? Are you excited about what is happening in this area? If not, it might be a good time to see what can be seen, because the full moon often brings things to the light. And the Libra full moon is about finding this harmony through relationship. So who knows, maybe a new relationship could come to light, or you might be seeing an old friend in a new light at this time. And the month ends for you, Gemini, around the 26th, when Venus enters Pisces. When Venus travels through Pisces, she is exalted, which means she can really bring things to you in a good way. And this for you is in the work and out there environment, the place where you put yourself out into the world. So I wish you to make the most of this, Gemini, because Venus will be here until April 20th. So you've got a good few weeks to make hay while Venus is shining in your work environment. April. April begins with a wonderful forward movement of energy. We've got Mars finally moving direct after being retrograde since January 10th. So while it might take some time to pick up speed, what it's showing you, Gemini, is that this area for you of siblings, communication, learning, teaching is being so emphasized at the moment. Mars is moving direct, moving forward in that house, and will be there all of April. Simultaneously, Jupiter, we haven't said much about Jupiter to date in this forecast. Jupiter is our planet of expansion, and Jupiter will be turning direct on April 12th in that house of Leo, that house of siblings, communication, and so on for you. And Jupiter has been retrograde all year, so this is an important adjustment. And Jupiter will be in Leo for another 3 months at least, until the end of July. So there's something going on there. Are you giving a presentation? Are you helping your brothers or sisters out with something? Are they coming to visit? Are you concerned with creating a new study course, learning something new, teaching something, or traveling? Getting around, local travel. Whatever it is, this area can grow for you. Jupiter entered this area of your chart in July of 2026, and it's been expanding, bringing joy, bringing good things to this area. And now with Mars moving direct there, it's as if something wants to get going and materialize. The other area of your life that is highlighted, Gemini, for April is friendships. Also money earned from work, or possibly accolades, receiving some praise, something good from the job you do. Mercury is going to enter into this house on the 8th, and this follows on the new moon in Aries on the 6th. So you've got a new moon there, beautiful opportunity to begin again, especially around friendships and focusing on work, maybe a raise, money earned from work. Is this a good time to ask for a raise? Note that whatever you do ask for on the 8th is going to really come forward, because Mercury will be at that 0 degrees of Aries. So you want to make sure that you're very, very clear on the direction your life is taking at this time. The full moon for April will be in Scorpio. So this is a great time to see what's coming to light in terms of your health, your daily routine. Check in on your exercise program. With Gemini, you always have to be careful of your wrists, your arms, your shoulders, also your nervous system. Are you doing some calm breathing practices? Are you taking care of your adrenaline? Gemini flow around and sometimes things get scattered because there's so much going on. So take this first full moon in Scorpio as a time for check-in. We're going to have a second Scorpio full moon, which is rare to have 2 full moons in the same sign. And for you, Gemini, you are being asked to check in. Just after that full moon, Venus will enter into Aries, bringing some joy to the house of groups and friendships. And then a couple of days later, your planet, Mercury, is slipping into Taurus. Now, this is a quiet place for you. It indicates that after all this activity, February with the solar and the lunar eclipse, March, you had a lot going on with the solstice. April has been a busy month at work. Lots of energy in the communication realm as well. Now Mercury enters Taurus, inviting you to slow down a little bit and to think about your internal life. A little bit of extra time needed perhaps for journaling and for reflecting on the first few months of the year. How are they going for you, and are you ready for the next season? May. May is a beautiful month, of course, Gemini. It's your birthday month. The first 20 days, however, are generally quiet for you because the sun is moving through Taurus. It's in your 12th solar house. Mercury's in Taurus. And I really see you processing here and getting ready for the birthday, which is going to take place after the sun moves into Gemini on the 21st of May. So many, many happy returns, Gemini. I wish you a beautiful year. The beginning of May does have a new moon, and it's also in Taurus in that 12th solar house. Quiet place for you. So I invite you to set your intentions that have to do with grounding and really physical practices. What can you do to tweak your health, your exercise, so that things are improved for you? And this will become more apparent on the 20th when we have that second full moon in Scorpio, shining a light there on your daily routines. And I'm hoping that by then you're feeling super well and ready for that sun moving into Gemini on the 21st. What's very important for May is that Mercury will be in Gemini, your sign, your ruling planet in your sign, from the 8th until the 28th of the month. So it's a very short period that Mercury will be whizzing through Gemini. Make the most of it. Great time to travel, great time to buy a new laptop or to upgrade your cell phone, possibly to buy a new car. What else can you do at this time to streamline your life so that you suffer from less stress and less tension? Try to initiate that. Note that because Uranus is traveling through Gemini now, you may be feeling more intensity in your nervous system. Uranus can sometimes bring that feeling as if electricity is running through our body. And you, Gemini, are very susceptible to that. You run at a high frequency, nervous system related. So pay attention, especially at this month when we've got Mercury in Gemini, the Sun moving into Gemini, and Uranus is there in Gemini. Of course, Mercury and Uranus will hook up, and that creates even more of a feeling of electrical intensity. We are electrical beings, and astrology is operating on us. The planets are operating on us in a way that we do not fully understand. But there's a correspondence going on. So a way to work with this energy, which can sometimes manifest as sleeplessness, is to study some breathing techniques. Deep breathing, especially at night when you're struggling to fall asleep, can be so helpful. Yogic practices, of course, you need to have approval from your doctor and you need to study them with an experienced person. They can be very, very helpful. And talking of days when this frequency might be felt very strongly, those would be the 27th and the 28th. So take it easy and just be aware that this is what's going on. Also on the 28th, Mercury is going to slip into Cancer, your solar place of money, resources, and self-worth. So let's see what comes forward on this day. It's a great time to put yourself out there, to feel good about yourself. And this is also entering the time for you when it's a good time to work on the financial side of life. More so at the end of June, and we'll come to that. June has a very interesting combination of themes focused around money, relationships, romance, and also simply there's a lot of energy about that needs to be used in a wise way, especially at the beginning of the month when Uranus and Mars will square each other. So that whole first week, be mindful, there's energy building. You can use it wisely if you're aware of it. We do have your new moon in Gemini on the 4th of June. So that's your time to really focus on the entire year ahead for you. It's your birthday month. You're in tune with what's going on now. And you're trying to figure out what's the next step. How am I going to move forward for the rest of the year? Am I aligned? And Venus will enter into your sign, into Gemini, a couple of days after that new moon. That's always a blessing. You feel beautiful, you feel at your best, you feel handsome, whatever the case, you're feeling on top form. And this is good because a couple of days after that, on the 10th, there's going to be your second Mercury retrograde period. And Mercury is now in the house of Cancer, finances. So I'm going to invite you over the next couple of weeks, if there is something that you wish to redo, like a mortgage, it might be a very good time. Taking out a second mortgage, negotiating the terms of your mortgage so that they are better than the first one. You might also be reinvesting money, taking it out of one account, putting it into another. This is all good things to do because by the end of the month, Mercury is going to slip back into Gemini, your sign. What about relationships? Well, of course, they're in the spotlight when Venus is in your sign, but we will also have a full moon on the 17th. That will be in Sagittarius, which is your partner house. So hopefully you're focusing good love and attention on your partner. If you are looking for a partner, this could be a very good month to find them. And it's also a great time to reconnect with old friends and people that you haven't seen for a while. On the 21st of June, an important day for all, it's the solstice. If you're in the northern hemisphere, this is the summer solstice. And if you are in the southern hemisphere, this is the winter solstice. So celebrate that with intention. It's a day when we are very open to receiving the light of the sun, both the physical and the spiritual light. We take time and rituals on these important days in order to connect more deeply with our source. My sense is that this video is long enough. There's a lot to absorb. I will look at the astrology from July to December of 2027 in part 2. And you can let me know in the comments below if this works better for you than a long hour format. What I did find last year is that a video over 1 hour could not be translated into a foreign language. I had so many requests from you viewers for that to be. So perhaps a shorter format is also better for our viewers who are speaking a language other than English as their home language. I wish you all the best, Gemini. I will see you in the next video and have a beautiful first half of 2027. Until next time.